The stranded MSC Baltic 3 cannot be safely refloated, according to the Coast Guard. This is from the Maritime Exclusive, and it was published on the 27th of February, 2025. 12 days after the container ship MSC Baltic 3 lost power and was driven ashore in Canada during winter storms, the Canadian Coast Guard reports the vessel cannot be safely refloated. Weather continues to hamper the efforts of the Coast Guard and a private salvage team, with the latest update reporting they are focusing on fuel and other possible contaminants on board. The vessel was abandoned on February the 15th after it was driven into the rocky shoreline of western Newfoundland. The Canadian Coast Guard organized a helicopter rescue for the crew. Since the 679-foot or 203-meter vessel went ashore, winter storms have continued to impact the area. The Coast Guard says teams are frequently unable to get aboard of the ship, and weather is hampering some of the water operations. They are monitoring the ship from the shore and from the air. At the beginning of the week, they reported that divers have confirmed that there were significant breaches or holes in the hull below the waterline. The vessel has settled firmly onto the seabed, and so far they have not found significant breaks above the waterline. However, pictures have shown some deformation in the hull and the possibility of a crack. Given the vessel's current condition, it cannot be safely refloated, the Coast Guard writes in its update issued on February the 27th. The initial focus will be removal of the fuel and the cargo. Based on the urgency of the situation, the Coast Guard says it's looking at alternatives, including repairing an old road and all-terrain vehicle trail that could be used to reach the remote location. They told the Telegram newspaper that the road would need upgrades to handle heavy equipment and tractor trailers. The Coast Guard is also looking at building an access point from the shore to the bow of the vessel. The surveys have confirmed that there are approximately 1.7 million liters of heavy fuel oil and marine gas on board. While no pollution has been observed, there are concerns over a potential breach. One of the steps being explored is pumping the fuel to shore, because it may not be possible to get salvage vessels alongside. MSC initially advised the Coast Guard that the vessel had approximately 470 containers aboard, and over half were empty. The others are carrying items such as food, lumber, and paper supplies. In the latest update, the Coast Guard said, however, 8 containers with polymer beads, or nurdles, have been marked as a priority for removal. The Canadian Coast Guard said there are some materials aboard considered dangerous goods in shipping terms, such as the nurdles, as well as flour and whiskey. Nothing aboard, however, is hazardous under normal conditions. The biggest issue is the race against time to reduce the risk, as winter storms are likely to persist in the region and further batter the vessel. Well, job number one now is to get the whiskey off, that's for sure. You got to save the whiskey, and then maybe the fuel and the oil. I don't know, but it seems to be going very, very slow, that's for sure. They know this fuel oil has to come off. They get on the ship on a regular basis, not as easily as they wish they could, but they've done nothing to get any oil off, even if they got a little bit off each time they were there. And I know it's not easy, especially the heavy oil that needs to be made hot in order to make it flow. So not easy, that's for sure, but you would think they get some off at this point. Every little bit is going to make things easier in the end and less dangerous. Either way, this ship, like I said in the last update, I don't see her ever floating again, not in one piece. She might come out of there, but she'll be in multiple pieces when it happens, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully the weather cooperates and they can get this done, but it's going really, really slow in my opinion. Alright guys, there it is. As always, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're new here and you like these kind of videos, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you on the next one.